All right, I'm on hole 9 of the 2019 Fall Major. I'm in the Monday qualifying round, and I'm definitely not trying to qualify today. And I need to make sure, because there's a bunch of people not trying to qualify today, I need to make sure that I don't get anything good on this hole. One of my teammates was doing exactly what I'm doing and ended up getting an Albie on the last hole, and he's probably going to qualify today. And that's not good. But I'm going to go for the Albie. And if I make it, I make it, and I'll just have to deal with it. But my goal today is to not qualify. There's several of these holes that I really want to practice because I'm not sure exactly what ball and club I want to bring. All right, I'm going out into this area. I think that this shot down here, can you get down here and get up? One of my teammates today got an Albie doing this shot right here. Went up, came up, and got the Albie. I don't like this shot just because it's so hard to get down into here. And when you're engaging this area on your second shot, and a lot of my opponents I've seen come down here and they didn't bring, in my opinion, they didn't bring a big enough ball. So can you get down here with Quasar or that? Yes, but it makes your second shot so hard because you need to land your second shot. It needs to be on this fairway. Now you don't want to be over here trying to run it up through that. So you need to engage this fairway. But here's the deal with this fairway. Here's how it looks. You're coming off this sand, off of this rough area. So right here. So here's the top of the rough, and then it comes down, and then it comes up like this. So when you're engaging it up here at the top, you're here, your ball guide is digging into the ground. And so you'll have to pull up against the red line to see, and the wind's going in this direction. So the good news for you is that the wind's blowing in this direction and you're going to get some help from the wind. But you'll have to pull it through to see where your ball guide ends up out here, because you won't be able to see it just by letting it sit there and rest, because it's coming down the hill and the ball guide's just getting buried into the ground. And so I don't really like how this shot setup works over here. And I think that the first shot, there's too much of a possibility of an epic fail up here. And if you epic fail, okay, so let's say you epic fail over here. You end up here, or you end up out here. You could, if you practice these shots on a regular basis, and this is for one of my teammates, Mike D, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. You come out to these holes and you hit this, and from here, you could do a max overpower hook shot from this right here and try and get on in one, or excuse me, get on in two. You could try and recover, and you still have an opportunity to recover even if you failed up here. But if you're down here, you have very limited options. So you're not going to be able to use any of this to recover. Your only recovery area is this right here. So in a lot of cases, your best shot would be, if you can make this, would be to just lay up here and give yourself a decent shot to try and chip it in. But if you fail up here, you still could get on in two. There are ways to recover. And I always like it when I give myself options. I'm not a really big fan of only, like, hey, if you do that, you only have one option here, and it ain't good. So I'm going to come at this with an extra mile and a tighten, and I'm trying to get over this in one. And I'm going to be aiming right towards that. Now, if you watched my videos earlier from my lower level account, I was barely able to get over with a level 6 extra mile. So level 6 EM. The wind today was only blowing like 2.5, 2.6 miles per hour. And I just barely had enough room on a max overpower to get over. The deal there is that if you pull it over here to the right a little bit, you can see that the fairway gets longer, it's shorter and shorter. So you got to hit it longer the more you are this way. So I was trying to aim towards the center. The problem is that puts me going in this direction. And with a level 6 extra mile, you have, 20 maybe of curl. And so, you're barely going to be able to clear the sand. So you've got to start off a little bit more to the right so that the curl will put you out here in the middle. If you've got an upper developed extra mile, you're going to have a little bit more curl, so you can aim towards this little island right here, fairway island that's sticking into the sand, and your curl will easily bring you over. You can use an apocalypse here, aiming towards this area. The one thing with an apocalypse, though, is that you could over curl it and end up down here in the rough. So you got to be careful with your curl. But I'm going to use an extra mile. You can do the bounce over A lot of people are going to do the bounce over here because they've got lower. If they don't have 3 power balls, or they could do a bounce over here with your big topper and try and run out. And you're going to find yourself in this area a lot where you're still kind of engaging with the trees. And if you're in this area right here, I'm definitely going to want to bring a big dog. I want to bring the biggest club that I have. It'll give me lots of options up here. It's got lots of topspin. I could do a rough bump. I could try and get in front. I could come back here, and it's got topspin. It'll bridge the gap. So if I'm using the big dog, or excuse me, big topper to bounce over, I'm definitely going to want to bring my big dog as my secondary club. If you're hitting up into this area, if you're trying to get between that shadow and this shadow, from here you can use a guardian or a sniper. Either one will work. And I'm going to use a sniper. And that is a commitment, because if anything goes wrong, your fault, my fault, nobody's fault, and you miss your shot with your drive, that sniper's not going to be enough club. You know, if you clip the rough back there, you didn't quite get over, you clip the rough, you're going to wish that you had a big dog in your bag. So if you decide on a hole like this that you're going to bring something other than a big dog, you have got to get into the area that you were aiming for. So if I get up there with my extra mile, my Titan, I'm going to use 10% on the sniper into the cup. And I have all these wind adjustments written down, and half the holes I played today I haven't used them. I've been really focused, and it's the same thing with every tournament when I do these practice rounds. I'm really focused right now on, what shot am I going to practice all week? What driver am I going to use? What ball am I going to bring? Okay, we're trying to go straight forward. I have just enough room. I'm going to go right towards that little peninsula. That way I can put on max curl. Oh, I had that 70 rings good to the right. That'll end up in the rough. Now let's see if my prediction earlier that you could still have an opportunity to get on, let's see if I can engage. If I can engage that next fairway, I still have a shot. I don't mind getting in trouble on some of these holes when you're practicing. It's not a bad deal. Like some of these holes and I can tell you, like on some of these holes, hey, if you're in the rough right here, you can still get on. That's because I've hit in the rough right there, or I've hit in the sand. I've been on some of these holes where when we first get holes, brand new holes, there will be areas that's like, hey, that trap right there is seriously in play. What happens if we're in that trap? And I will intentionally hit into that trap just so that I can see, am I in the clear if I'm in that trap? I don't think I can make this fairway area with my Nirvana. I don't think I can get that out that far. Maybe. Not quite. Close. That put me. Not working. Okay, the wind's going to push me forward a couple rings. There's one. There's two. All right. I got nothing to lose here. Let's see if we can catch it. Just a little, not quite enough. We need to go out about 2 or 3 more rings. I went out 2.5 ring sets, and I should have went out 3. I had plenty of fairway there to work with, so the hope is that I could catch it so that I could bleed through this little teeny finger and get up into the area about where their ball guide's at. If I had 0 chance of making that and I couldn't get to that fairway, I would have laid up and gave myself the absolute best shot to get up there. But if I'm in one of those situations where I can engage it, You need to practice those shots on a regular basis, and you will get better and better and better at them. Because it's amazing when you practice them how, you will make some of those shots and you can recover. All right, and in my Hornet range, there's Max Club. Wow. There's Min, so there's mid. I'm getting close to the 1.5 per ring here. I'll do a 10% adjustment coming in. Get a little closer to the hole. Okay, so that's going to be 4-4. That's 1.5 per ring. There's 3, there's 4-5. You hit perfect. And I hit it great to the left. And it went great to the left. Getting the eagle. I should have forfeited before they took their shot. That -1 might hurt me. I know the -4 looks, but there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to be tanking today. As long as we're still below the cutoff line. All right, we got somebody with a -8 above us, so I am definitely not going to be qualifying today. Awesome. Had that happen where you're at this and then a couple people above forfeit some holes just because they don't want to qualify, and then you end up pulling that -4 up to the top and it ends up in 10th place. That's a sick feeling when you wake up the next morning. You're like, hey, cool, I can practice today, and then you ended up qualifying with a -4. Not good. All right, that was hole number 9. That was the only poor shot I took in the whole round. Just you can't hit those shots good. You can hit, typically, if you watch how I set up shots, I can almost always hit I can always hit a great to the left, to the right, and a perfect, and it'll end up going in the direction I'm looking for, more than likely in the clear. A lot of the shots, especially when they're straightforward shots like this, I like to set my shots up so that if it says great or if it says perfect, doesn't matter if it was a 2-ring great, doesn't matter. It's still going to end up where I wanted it. But usually, if you hit good, it ain't good. And so that's the risk when you're taking those max overpower shots, is that you pick up a good, and in that situation, a good to the left might have been okay, but a good to the right is no bueno. And the reason a good to the left is all right is that here's where you were trying to aim and you hit it 3 rings good this way. Well, guess what? I've got right hand curl and right hand side spin. So this shot's going in this direction, but it's coming in at this angle. And this shot out here, it's going in this direction, but it's coming in at this angle. So you can still end up making it. I have tons of room on that shot on the left, but I don't have enough room on the right hand side to hit a 3-ring or a 4-ring shot to the right and end up good. That's bad. All right, that was hole number 9. Hopefully in those 9 holes you guys picked up some stuff to do or not to do. And I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.